they're loving their children as they love Krishna. And now, because the Brijbasis, they have the desire. They actually have the desire that, oh, I want Krishna as my own son. So Krishna performed this pastime, that he would fulfill their desire and become their very own son. And they could bathe him and dress him and love him like their own son. And then, the mother cows, they also became overwhelmed with love and affection for their calves. You see? And milk began flowing, and they were licking the bodies of their calves. So now, Krishna, he is living like this every day, going, coming to the forest, coming back. This goes on for 1 year. And Krishna's brother is named Balaram. Balaram is actually the first expansion of Krishna himself. He's actually Krishna in another form. He's the Supreme Lord. But even Balaram could not notice what was taking place until there was an incident after about 1 year when they were all, the cowherd boys, Balaram, Krishna, they're all there, and from the top of Govardhan Hill, the cowherd men were herding the cows, the adult cows. Okay? You're getting too cold? So they were herding the adult cows. And when they, from the top of the hill, the cows saw their calves, who were now 1 year old, right? The calves were 1 year old. But in the meantime, and during that year, they had given birth to another calf. And usually the mother cow gives more affection to the newborn calf than the 1 year old calf, you see. But in this case, when they saw their calves being herded down below, they went running down the hill, and the cowherd men were trying to hold them back, right? But when they came closer and closer, then the cowherd men also saw their own sons, who are Krishna. And they also became overwhelmed with love and affection. And they began to embrace them, and tears coming from their eyes, and smelling their heads. And then the cows were embracing. And Balaram was watching this, because on the day when this happened, where Brahma stole the cows, the calves and the cowherd boys, Lord Balaram was kept back home because it was his birthday. So he wasn't there in the forest with Krishna that day. Usually he's always there. So now he began thinking, this is interesting. What is happening here? The 1 year old calves are being, the cows are showing overwhelming love for them, and also the cowherd men for their children. Oh, it must be my brother Krishna. So he approached Krishna. This is showing that even Balaram, who is Krishna himself, cannot know if Krishna doesn't want him to know. That's his supreme power. So now Krishna explained, oh, Brahma, he stole, so I expanded myself. Now, there's another little part to this, because Brahma, you know, we were talking the other day how long time period he lives, and how long is his day, billions of years and all that. So 1 year of earthly time is just a moment of Brahma's time. And when Brahma had finished stealing the calves and the cowherd boys, he went back to his planet, because he can go there instantaneously, right? And when he came to the door of his palace, the guards stopped him. And they said, he said, why are you stopping me? I'm Brahma, I'm your master. He said, no, no, no. We know you're not our master. We know that you're an imposter, right? So what was actually happening?
Lord Brahma, Krishna took on the form of Lord Brahma earlier, and went to the gatekeepers and told them that there's an imposter. When he comes, don't let him in. He's going to say that he's Lord Brahma.
See, so not only did Krishna expand as the cowherd boys and the calves, he expanded as Brahma. So now when Brahma came there, he said, oh, okay. Then he immediately came back down to the earthly planet. When he came, he saw in the same place that all the cows and the calves and the cowherd boys were still there taking their lunch, right? Even though 1 year had gone by and 1 moment of Brahma's time, right? Now he saw they're all taking their lunch. And then he thought, well, where are the ones that I took? And he went to look in the cave, and they're still there also. Then he came back to the riverbank, and he saw they're also there. Then he used his heads to look in both places at once. They're both in both places. Now he understood. Oh, I've made a little offense. I've tested my master. And at that moment, Krishna endowed Brahma with the ability to see this incredible vision that overwhelmed him completely. That every one of the cowherd boys, their cowherding sticks and their bugle horns and their flower garlands and everything, each one of them became 4-armed Vishnu forms, effulgent as thousands of suns. And he saw this vision, and he became completely overwhelmed. And now he understood the supreme power of the Supreme Being, from whom I've come, from whom I've gotten my power. He's now taken the form of this little cowherd boy in Vrindavan, but he's still the Supreme Being. So then, Krishna was wandering in the forest alone with 1 or 2 cowherd friends, and Brahma found him and came down on his swan carrier. Brahma is very big, and huge, huge golden crowns, very powerful, very opulent. And he touched his crowns to the lotus feet of Krishna. And Krishna was just a little 4-year-old boy holding in the palm of his hand a piece of, like a laddu, yogurt mixed with rice and dried fruits and everything. And then Brahma began to circumambulate Krishna, worshipping him. And now he began to offer prayers to Krishna. And his prayers are in this 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. There's about 40 verses, how he glorified Krishna. And he told how insignificant his power is in comparison with Krishna's. And he bathed Krishna's lotus feet with his tears of ecstasy. And then Krishna gave him blessings, and he returned to his supreme abode.
While Lord Brahma was doing all these things, circumambulating, he was all decked out, of course. And the cowherd boys, several of them were looking and thinking, what in the heck is this guy doing? Who is this guy? It was just fun, like kids, right?
Yes. And they were saying, oh, look, 4 heads, because Brahma has 4 heads. So they were amused, like little children are amused by something.
And then they went back to playing again.
Right. But Shukadev Goswami, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the speaker of the Srimad Bhagavatam, he has glorified those cowherd boys by saying that Krita Punja Punja, that who are these persons that are qualified to play with the Supreme Being as little cowherd boys? They must have executed millions and millions of previous pious activities to attain this position of intimacy with the Supreme Lord. You see. So, Krishna's opulence as the Supreme Being is subdued in Vrindavan and covered by what is called madhurya, sweetness. Sweet. See? So the reflection of that human-like existence of Krishna in the spiritual world is reflected here in the material world in the form of human society, in which these different kinds of relationships are there. 5 rasas. The 5 rasas. Neutrality, servitude, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love. And so in the human society, the conditioned souls in this world, they go through these experiences in life, and therefore they have some reference point from which they can think about and understand the supreme human-like pastimes of Krishna. Once they understand that Krishna is that supreme being from the Vedic knowledge, then they become attracted to going to that abode where they can have the most intimate relationship with him, you see. So this you will not find anywhere, any other place, in any religion, in any philosophical, anything. You'll never find this conception. This is the supreme conception of the Supreme Being. Not majesty, but beauty. Beauty reigns supreme there and controls everything. Yeah, beauty and love, because the whole purpose of that beauty is to taste and exchange loving affection, you see. So even in this world, with the reflection of that is that when people have some beauty, people immediately become attracted to them, right? And everybody's trying to display their beauty, whatever they have, and enhance it somehow, right? And they compete also, who's got more beauty, you see. So this is inborn in the physical body of the human beings in this world, because it's a replica of the supreme form of Krishna, the supreme person. That's why he's called the supreme personality of Godhead, because Godhead is very vast. What is Godhead?
Usually I think it refers to Krishna and all the different expansions,
yes.
incarnations.
Yes, because in the spiritual realm, every planet is dominated by a form of the Supreme Being, Bhagavan. And they're all called Bhagavan. All the expansions of Krishna are called Bhagavan. But in the Srimad Bhagavatam it identifies all the different incarnations and expansions of Krishna. There's a verse, Ete chamsa kala pungsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. It says there that all the incarnations described, they are parts, amsha, of that supreme Bhagavan. And they are kala, that means plenary portions, that means portions of him. So he expands, and then those expand like that, like a candle. You can light one candle, and you can take that candle and light another. So his expansions are like this, they're unlimited. But in the Bhagavatam it says Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. But of all these forms, the form of Krishna is called Bhagavan Swayam. That means the supreme form of Bhagavan himself. So in this movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this form of Krishna is clearly established by his teachings as being the supreme form of the Supreme Being. And his pastimes that are displayed in the Srimad Bhagavatam, they are glorified as the topmost display of the rasa-filled, loving pastimes that Supreme Being exchanges with his pure devotees. You see. So when that Supreme Being comes into the material world, he's coming for two purposes mainly. For his own purpose of tasting transcendental ras and exchange, but also because he's causelessly merciful. He wants to attract all the suffering souls in this world and bring them to him. Therefore he comes into this world and displays his pastimes. So by hearing about them, now the jiva souls become gradually attracted to him. And they become attracted to surrender to him and to serve him and to attain divine love for him. So in his pastimes, he also speaks a philosophical presentation. Himself. He stands on a chariot in the middle of a battlefield, and he speaks to his friend Arjuna that, now I want to tell you that knowledge, which when you know this, there will be nothing further to be known. This is the topmost knowledge. I'm going to tell you about myself and how you can come to know me and how you can gradually come to me. This is called Bhagavad Gita. The song, Gita means song, of Bhagavan. Bhagavan means what? 6 opulences in full. So that's why it's called Bhagavad Gita, because it's the song of Bhagavan. Bhagavad means of Bhagavan. Bhagavad Gita.
There is no other, like you said, philosophy or scripture anywhere that actually has Bhagavan himself giving advice on how to become liberated and how to love him. Nowhere.
Nowhere.
Prophets, maybe?
It does not exist. When Krishna wants to give some knowledge about himself and about how to come to him, he manifests in this material world different conceptions of religion on different levels according to the level of the human society. Okay? So therefore you see so many different religious conceptions. And all of them have some idea of what will come after this life and what should be our destination. Okay? And what should we practice and live in our life in order to attain that. So you can look at Muslim religion and Christian religion, Jewish, all. They have some idea of a supreme being who created everything. Okay? But their ability to approach the supreme being and the process that is given is according to their level. They will have to go through various stages of enlightenment and purification before they become actually capable to receive this highest of all conceptions. But the amazing thing is that when Krishna comes in this Kali Yuga, himself comes as Lord Chaitanya. Now he's coming to give this to everyone. Everyone who is fortunate. Everyone who is willing to carefully embrace and understand what is this knowledge. Those persons are the most fortunate persons. Most fortunate of all living entities, even in the universe. Because now they're being given access to the process through which they can enter into the supreme abode. How to go there. So once somebody understands this, then there is no turning back. You cannot hide. You can try, but once somebody understands this, their life must shift, because you cannot hide and live in a false reality once you've tasted something of the actual reality. So therefore Krishna is very powerful. His name, his form, his pastimes, everything about Krishna is so attractive and powerful. Therefore the most powerful process is to hear about him, to chant his names, to study, to read, to associate, and always be speaking about Krishna, 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 and everything connected. The highest devotees, the pure devotees, this is all they do. This is what they do 24 hours. Krishna tells this in the Bhagavad Gita. Satatam kirtayanto ma. They are always kirtayanto, like we do kirtan. This is called kirtan when we chant. Krishna says, Satatam kirtayanto mam. My pure devotees are always glorifying me and doing kirtan. Yatantascha dridha vrataha. They are endeavoring with great, great determination and faith. Namashyantascha mam nityam. They are always offering their namaha, their obeisances to me eternally. Tushyanti cha. ramanti cha. And as they do this, they feel so happy, so satisfied. That is the eternal, pure devotees of Krishna. You see. So we're trying to become devotees. And we're going through the process of regulated bhakti yoga, hearing and chanting about Krishna, remembering all, so that we can become Krishna's eternal devotee. Jai Jai, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Padmanabha ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Sri Bhuvana Pavana Harinam Sankirtana ki Jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Sri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai, Sri Krishna Lila ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi Pancha Kalpatarushcha